I am Marcus James Dixon with Gold Derby, and we are here with Rebecca Hickey, Department Head Makeup Artist for the White Lotus on HBO. Rebecca, tell us what it means for you to be nominated at the Emmy Awards. How cool is that? This is your first nomination.
Yeah, it's so wild. It hasn't sunk in yet. I feel like so honored, and it's just sort of like a dream come true, like whoever thinks that this would happen. So I'm taking it all in still.
And you're in the category of Best Contemporary Makeup, Non-Prosthetic. I've
Right.
always wondered, is it more difficult to kind of stand out or make your mark when you're doing contemporary makeup? Because it's not as flashy as the period makeup or the prosthetic makeup categories, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like natural, pretty modern makeup. So I think I'm kind of shocked about that because I kind of feel like all the other nominees like have something that's a little bit extra. So, I mean, I'm super honored, but I also am like, really us? Like, I don't know. I think people love that. Sorry, my dog. Sorry. I have a dog that just needs
Hi,
attention.
puppy. What's your puppy's name?
Sunny. He hates the camera though.
I think there's another one in the background, like kind of peeking in.
There is Finn. I know. They're all attention getters. Sorry.
No, we love it. Can you explain to the viewers how you go about trying to find or create a character through the makeup process?
Well, I think I'm really big on inspiration, and I always want like a character to feel somewhat relatable to you. And I feel like, I lived in the city for 18 years and I've traveled so much, and I'm constantly like aware of my surroundings and of people. And I'm always like taking notes of the way people do their hair, their makeup, dress. Like I'm just always interested in like diversity and the way, people present themselves. And so I think, I have like a little bank of things. So when I start a job like White Lotus, I like pull little, tidbits from there, and just to like, so that you kind of feel like you maybe know this person. I always like kind of revert back to somebody or something that I've seen, or, that I know, or I think that's important to do like when you're doing modern day shows.
Mm-hmm. And at the Emmys, you have to submit one specific episode for the judges to watch. And you went with That's Amore, the fifth episode from season 2.
Uh-huh. That was,
And
yeah.
that's the one where the two couples go on the wine tasting, and Tanya and Portia visit Palermo
Yes.
with the gays.
Yes.
Can you fill us in about why this episode was chosen as your Emmy submission?
Well, I think it's difficult because when I was looking through all of them, I was trying to pick one that had like, a lot of different makeups and could really like showcase that. And so I felt like there was quite a few that were really nice in there. And I don't know, it's like, I don't know. I was like, this sounds like a good one. I was looking at hair. Mia, who's nominated for hair, she picked, I think, the first one. So I saw that and I was like, shit, maybe I should have done that. Like, I think you can't win, you just pick one and hope for the best.
Right. And I mean, the voters absolutely love the White Lotus. So I think whatever one you would have picked, it would have been the best one, but the best
Yeah,
choice.
people do love it. It's so funny. It's really crazy that people are so, that people love it so much. It's awesome.
Were you surprised, because you worked on season 1 too, so were
Yeah.
you surprised by how big the fan base has grown between season 1 and season 2? I felt like it was just a stratospheric rise.
Yeah, I thought it was really crazy. I knew like reading the first script, I was like, this is cool, but it was also like COVID. So you never really know what's going to happen. I think it hit at the right time. People were like dying for something juicy and like, kind of like needing like some kind of shock value in there, and just like wanted to like grasp onto something. And so people were like, it was really popular the first season, but then now it's like everybody knows about it, and everyone is like, oh my god, the White Lotus, doesn't matter if you have HBO or not, like, everyone's figuring out a way to watch it. So yeah, but I also, Mike White is a genius, and I'm like, whatever he does, like people just want more, so not that surprising. But
In the episode that you submitted, there's the opera scene, the Madame Butterfly scene. Can you talk about any specific makeup work you did for that scene?
Well, my whole team was Italian, so I was the only one there from the States in the makeup department. I had one of my girls did the makeup for the stage, all the stage makeup, which was beautiful. I thought she did such a great job. And, you know, Jennifer, those were real tears. They were all her, you know, so I can't take any credit for that. But yeah, I thought it was a beautiful, that scene was really beautiful, I think, with her and Tom. And yeah, it was a nice moment.
And Harper and Daphne, played by Aubrey Plaza and Megan Fahey, throughout the season, they had, you know, very different energies, different outlooks on life. How do you, as the makeup artist, try to show that juxtaposition through their makeup?
Yeah, I think, you know, like, well, the White Lotus is, it's people that you know, right? And it's like elevated a little bit. There's like, you know, a little bit of exaggeration, but I think I just always approach it where I want to talk, I have ideas and then I want to talk to the actors and figure out where their mindset's at. So, you know, we'll talk about these things like, hey, you know, Harper probably shouldn't be wearing anything this morning, or, you know, she's not Daphne. She's not Daphne. I wanted to always have like, not, you know, not a hair out of place kind of, you know, it's like her makeup was just always done. Her lip gloss was always freshly applied. And I think we had to show how Harper was less concerned with that and, you know, putting on that front, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that really came across. I loved those two characters' relationships with
Yeah.
each other and with the husbands. And
Yeah,
also in that episode, F. Murray Abraham, he's seen wearing a bandage because his character hits his head. And I've always wondered, is that the makeup department that does that, or the hair department, or the costume, or is it kind of all of the above?
It's actually props.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the bandage itself comes from props, and then my girls on my team took it over and they were the ones that like were responsible for it. But yeah, props handled all that and purchased it and, you know, decided on it. We just kind of maintained it.
Mm-hmm. Put the finishing touches on it.
Yeah.
And what was it like working with the great Jennifer Coolidge? I mean, she won an Emmy last year. She'll probably win again. Do you have any fun stories from the set?
She's the most incredible woman I've ever met. She's so smart. I mean, like, I think you don't realize that when you see her on TV, that she's such an intelligent woman and she's like full of wisdom. I think really there's some funny stories more from season 1, because we were all just kind of figuring each other out. And I remember one day we were like, you know, we stayed at the Four Seasons in Maui and we were the only people there. So it was just the film crew, which was bananas because it's like a huge resort. And one day Jennifer was like, I lost my phone. I don't know where my phone is. She couldn't find her phone. And I remember her, she had a personal assistant, finds her phone like so far away from where anybody could possibly ever have been or that she would have been. And it was like all the way in the bushes. And we were just like, Jennifer, how in the world? Like, she's just so funny like that. And you just don't even understand it, but she's such a delight. And so that was really funny. We were like, what? Like, we can't even understand it, but she's just like such a joy to be around.
And perhaps, you know, one of the most talked about scenes from season 2 was her big death scene in the finale, where she, you know, hits her head and drowns underwater. From the makeup perspective, like, how do you work on someone that's kind of underneath the water and drowning?
Well, there was a double, right? So the person that actually was in the water was a double, and then there was a dummy. So we couldn't see their faces. So it's a little bit more hair than it is me. I kind of like, you know, we just make sure tattoos are covered and the skin color matches. But you really can't see their face. So that's the extent of our work. The hair has I think the harder job, you know, to make sure that matches. But it looked really good, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I was oh my gosh.
I loved all the memes on social media.
So many memes. Oh my gosh. It's so funny.
And speaking of the hair department, you know, how closely does your department work with the other artisans, like the hair and costumes and props? And is it all just a big collaborative effort?
Yeah, I think, you know, Alex Bovard, who's our costume designer, she like sets the tone for everything, you know, and I love her and she's so talented. And so I go to her a lot for, you know, like, hey, what do you think about this? And nail polish colors. I love like little details like that. And so she's so helpful in giving her perspective. And then, you know, hair, I think, yeah, we just kind of talk about things and pull some photos and reference ideas and make sure we're on the same page of like what, bring it all together, what everybody should look like. And then the actors have such a huge input as well.
Mm.
They know the characters sort of better than we do. So a big, big effort from everybody around.
And what would you say was the biggest challenge in working in Sicily during a pandemic? And you already mentioned your team was kind of all new. Was that
Yes.
fun to, get to meet all of these new people, coworkers?
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, Sicily specifically, the sun is so extreme. And I think I underestimated that. I've been to Italy, but I've been to Sicily. It was so hot. So my main concern was just, please don't get too tan, because we actually recreated the hotel set and we shot a lot of it in at the Domenico in Taormina, but then we recreated it and shot it in Rome 6 months later. So I was worried that like, oh my gosh, you guys are going to go out here. You have like days off on end. You're going to go by the pool or go to the sea and get tan, and you're going to look completely different. So I just really beg everyone to like stay covered and wear their sunscreen and try to wear hats. And that, that was, and also, yeah, the new team. And also you take for granted in the US, a lot of the products that we can get here. And when you go to somewhere like Sicily, which is an island, like it's hard. And so there was a lot of things I was used to just being able to call up Nigel's and, beauty supply stores and order. And I had to make do and learn how to use different things that I'd never even heard of. So my team was instrumental in helping with that, guiding me.
I talked to the producer, Dave Burnett, and I asked him if he has a favorite moment or favorite scene from all of season 2. And he said it was the Vespa scene with Jennifer Coolidge and John Grice, where they're riding kind of through Italy. So now I have a similar question to you. Do you have a favorite moment working on the set, something that you're always going to remember your entire life?
Oh my gosh. Working on the set. Well, I would say, my most memorable. So Theo James, we put a prosthetic penis on him. I hate to bring this up again, but honestly, if there's one thing that I'll never forget, it's probably that, because we had such a rapport about it and we still joke about it. He actually went on, I think, Jimmy Fallon and talked about it. And so that really stands out as just, I'll probably never forget that because of what it was. But we had so much fun outside of shooting in Italy too. It's like just going to dinner and getting drinks. And it's such a fun environment when you're all traveling together and you've kind of left all your families behind. And so very special experience.
And I'm curious, what are some misconceptions out there people might have about what a makeup artist does or doesn't do? Are you ever finding yourself correcting family or friends like, oh no, I don't do that, I do this?
Well, normally I would say like nails, like I hate to do nails, but so we don't do nails. We sometimes do nails, but usually we hire like, somebody to come in. I think prosthetic stuff, usually they're like, well, that was you. And I'm like, no way. Like, I'm not going to do that nearly as good as a professional, who's doing like specific special effects. So that kind of stuff. And I think people just don't understand like logistically all this stuff. It's not just makeup, it's like running a team and it's ordering supplies and it's booking people, when you have 100 extras, it's so much more than just the makeup is honestly the easiest part of it, right? Because it's like when it's just done, you're like doing it, you're like, this is easy, this is great, I love this. But then managing people and running a department obviously is just, it's a lot, it's a lot of responsibility. So maybe that it's not all just like doing pretty makeups. So.
And season 3, everyone's very excited for it. It's allegedly going to be set in Thailand. Is there anything that that you can share with us, or are you just as much as in the dark as everyone else?
I'm pretty much in the dark. I might know a little, but I can't share. Thailand, I think we were supposed to be shooting in September, but it's gotten pushed to February. So that's a bit of a bummer, just longer for everybody having to wait. I'm so excited for the scripts. I don't know what Mike's planning. I think something juicy. I think he might have mentioned something spiritual. So that'll be interesting how he sort of taps into that. I'm sure somebody will die. I don't know. I think he always does something like that. But I'm just as excited and in the dark as everybody else, really.
And speaking of Mike, I mean, what is he like to work with as he's the producer and the writer and the director and the showrunner. What's your collaboration like with him?
He's so silly and he's so funny. He's really, I think in the first season, I always like try to go to directors and I always like want their input. And I realized with him is that he's like, hey, I hired you. Like, I trust that you know what you're doing and that you can do this. And so he gives so much creative freedom, which I think I took on more in the second season. I was like, okay, like, you're right. Like he, been doing this for 18, 19 years. Like he hired us for a reason. So he really just gives you the freedom to do what you think is best. And I love that. And he loves ideas and he loves like just silly, fun things. And he's just open and he's so funny and awesome to be around. I think he's just a gem. So it's great. He makes the environment so fun. It's never too tense. It's never too serious. We just have a lot of fun.
Well, best of luck at the Emmy Awards coming up. It's been moved to 2024, but we are still looking forward to seeing your category and see what happens. Do you have a speech in mind already, or is that just way, way out of your mind?
No, I got nominated, or the White Lotus got nominated for a Hair and Makeup Guild Award in February. So I had a little bit of a practice. We didn't win. Euphoria won, which is so well deserved. So that was nerve-wracking enough. So I can't really fathom what's going to happen in January. I don't know. I'm like thinking about my dress. I'm not going to prepare a speech. I don't know. I'm all over the place. I'm nervous. This is nerve-wracking, behind the scenes. I'm like, I shouldn't have to. We'll see. It'll be fine. A little wine will help,
Yes.
A little liquid courage.
I think I'll be at the Creative Arts backstage. So if you win, come say hi.
Fun. Okay, cool. Well, I hope maybe I'll see you anyways, even if we don't win.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Thanks for chatting with us.
Thanks so much. Take care.